Hello and welcome to Africa Today. I am Esther Amakwariola. In a world that is ever-changing with a new set of complicated challenges that seem to never fade, new frontiers and new ideas are the trade makers of a generation described as the youngest, the largest in the history of human existence. Africa's youthful population remain at the forefront of an ongoing digital revolution as critical thinkers, change makers and trailblazers often scale through the hurdles of political instability, social inequality and wealth disparity. And so we ask, what are your thoughts on the role of youths in ensuring sustainable development across Africa? You can join the conversation and share your thoughts with us on Twitter at TVC News NG. We take a report and Africa Today will continue. Welcome on board.
According to the National Population Commission, Nigeria's population reached 186 million in 2016 with a growing youth bulge. At this gathering by the United Nations Information Center in partnership with Strategy for Mentoring and Leadership Empowerment to commemorate the 2017 International Youth Day, the UN's message is centered on youth building peace.
What we are saying in the United Nations is that instead of seeing youth as the problem, we can see youth as the ones who will contribute to building peace in this country, Nigeria.
I think we need to study what I call that pyramid of oppression, which is the reason why there's restiveness. Once you are ignorant, you become fearful. Once you are fearful, you embrace oppression.
Some discussants believe youth do not necessarily need to be in politics to be agents of development.
Beyond the electoral process, I think there needs to be a lot of awareness on the fact that that's not leadership. Leadership is not in positional authority or titles. It's in your ability to make things better, to the ability to make a society better.
The youth must be involved in all spheres of life. And one of them is participation in their own governance.
For these youth at another forum, the essence of the commemoration is to advocate a better welfare situation for young workers in the construction industry. This is evident in their solidarity chants.
If you don't respect workers' rights, it is not fair to organize that kind of occasion. We say, red card for FIFA.
These youths are into social vices because their forces are not used properly. They've been diverted to wrong and violent effects. And that is not what it should be.
They want youth to synergize to achieve their goal of making a positive impact in the society.
What we have now, you will see that CESA is now bringing up youth wing of their union so that they are preparing the ground for the youth to take over from the leaders.
We need youth to put their hands together because you don't stay far and make an input. You have to be in active participation.
It is believed that if the youth are properly empowered, given the enabling environment to thrive and allowed to be actively involved in developing the economy, the nation will be a better place for all.
Welcome back. This year's International Youth Day, marked on the 12th of August, is dedicated to celebrating the contribution of young people in conflict prevention and transformation through the social justice, and sustainable peace. The idea for International Youth Day was proposed in 1991 by young people who were gathered in Vienna, Austria for the first session of the United Nations World Youth Forum. Joining me in the studio on Africa Today, I have Aremu Toyin Babatunde, political analyst and former local chairmanship aspirant in Lagos. Good to have you here.
Good evening.
I also have Kingbade Julius, youth leader and political analyst, and also on Skype I have Tayo Sonyolu, politician and youth leader in Lagos, Nigeria. Good to have you gentlemen on the program once again.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, where will I start with? Okay, let me begin with you, Aremu. International Youth Day was celebrated on Saturday, and There are lots of speakers talking about the youth being a change agent for peace and all, which of course represents the theme for the celebration. But in a nutshell, what exactly or how significant is the International Youth Day in our present-day society?
Thank you. The International Youth Day is a day that is a day that is meant for the youth in the entire world. It's a youth where the youth celebrate their potentials and they challenge one another to be up to the task and to be responsible and to be part of the sustainable development of the whole world. Mm-hmm. in order to fulfill their potentials and to have a better future.
Okay. Okay. So Ajimba, Julius, right?
Yeah, Comrade Akinbari.
Okay, Akinbari Julius. What would you have to add to what he just said?
In addendum to what my fellow comrade just said, I think this year International Youth Day is unique in the sense that we are happy with the just concluded the general election in Kenya, where you have the likes of Paul John, the 23, 24-year-old, being a member of a parliament, which means as a workforce of every nation, we are striving and we are getting there.
That's really a plus for the youth. But let me come to you now, Tayo. If you were to look at it in the eye of a politician, how would you assess the level of youth involvement here? Do you think they're really doing enough?
Well, I would say we're not doing enough yet because we still need more participation in politics, yeah? We need to be given chance, we need to explore, we need to give people the idea because, I mean, youth is an integral part of the political setting of each and every country in this world. So we need to be more active. I preach that, I mean, to every youth to be more participatory in every political setting. Because, I mean, we see all over that they keep on recycling. The youth are not actually active. So we really need to be more involved in politics.
So why do you think the youths aren't really active? What do you think is causing the youth to be kind of distant from what is expected of them to do in a society today?
Well, I think basically it's because just the mindset. I mean, plenty of people just sit back in their houses and think, okay, fine. The politics is meant for the layabouts, but I mean, it's different ball game. We need the intellectuals, we need the elites to actually participate more in politics. I mean, we need loads of ideas. I mean, without all this, I mean, the leaders won't give us that opportunity to actually, I mean, do what we want to do.
Now that you've mentioned leaders, let me come to you now, Aremu. Over the weekend, former President Olusegun Obasanjo made a statement that the youth are known to complain a lot. We hardly come out to take any action. We sit back and we just complain. We don't do anything. You're a youth. Now he's made such statement. Do you think the youth will be ready to take the bull by the horn and well say, yes, we want to rule or we want to take things on our own hands?
Thank you. I must sincerely tell you that youth are ready. Based on what happened and what was being displayed during the International Youth Day, you will see that a lot of youth, they came out to express themselves and to challenge themselves, that they are ready for, even some of them said they are ready for 2019, to be part of policy making, to take decisions, decisions on their own, to be part of decision makers in the country. Some of them, they have encouraged themselves and they have decided to contest for 2019.
Really?
Yes, some of them are going for House of Assembly, House of Representatives. Even we have some people among us that they are going for Senate.
And do they have that kind of support from their fellow youth?
Yes, definitely.
Because I know that, in this case, some would say that, the youth are too young. They're not ready to, they don't really have enough knowledge on how to handle a political, space. So do you think that they will be given that opportunity, so to speak, to try these areas you mentioned?
I would say this, that we are the one that's in charge of our future. Nobody is in charge of our future. So we are ready to take charge of the future. So we are ready. All the youth, what we are doing now is to encourage the youth outside there to come out and support in the any youth that come out that want to contest for any position. So we are ready, and we are trying to sensitize the youth outside there, and we are trying to give them some courage to support their fellow youths in order to be part of the policy making.
All right, let's hold your thoughts for now. We need to go on a quick break. You're watching Africa Today, and we've been looking at the role of youth in ensuring sustainable development across Africa. Stay with us for more discussions in a moment. At the time when the Millennium Development Goals seemed a daunting task for most African countries, UN member states adopted the SDGs to end poverty, fight inequality, and tackle climate change. In recent years, one major goal of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development has been to ensure responsive, inclusive, participatory, and representative decision-making with youths at the forefront of all levels. Well, now, Julius, you just heard Aremu's own point of view with respect to, the readiness of the youth taking their life in their hands. But some part of the youth have been known to engage in, will I say, non-social vices. We have the likes of Boko Haram, we have ISIS, we have Al-Shabaab. We have different things that are not too good of a tale when it comes to the youth. And this theme talks about youth building peace. How do we correlate this to? And why does it seem like the youth is only known for something, well, negative?
Thank you very much. I think as regards to the issue of the social crisis, I think we have more than 65% of youth who are very vibrant, who are industrious, creative, with innovative idea. The issue of Boko Haram, the issue of ISIS is I think it has to do with the government policies. It has to do with the reawakening the spirits of youth participation in government. Let's go back to the DR Congo, where the President Joseph Kabila assumed office at the age of 29. He assumed office at the age of 29 from his father, who coincidentally had an accident. So who says youth cannot, who says we can't talk to ourselves? Who says we can't face the Boko Haram? They are youths, they have the exuberance, they have what they call it, they have the skills. They believe the only thing they can shape their skills in is to agitate for what they believe in, and I think it is illicit. We employ them to like kind of correlate their zeal into productive.
Right, Taya, you just had Julius's own point of view with regards to this, saying that it's more or less government policies that didn't really favor the youth. But how can we ensure that these youths now channel their energies to something positive?
Well, basically, the only way, I always say, to channel our energy, more participatory. You see, the youth must participate to influence the present and shaping the future. Whether you like it or not, we are the futures of tomorrow. Do you understand? So today's participation is very important and necessary, because we need to take the bull by the horn, as you said. We need to take our rights. I mean, like you having a very aged man as a minister for youth, I think we need the government to really give the youth the opportunity, the chance to show that energy, to show the zeal that we have got in us. I mean, like I say jokingly, we stand as a threat. We're going to take over once we have given the opportunity. And it's just getting that opportunity that we need right about now. So we need those policies, get the youth in play.
And what kind of policies are you looking at? Are you looking at something that includes the youth in government, or what kind of policies precisely?
Yes, basically the youth in government.
But if you're talking about the youth in government now, we hardly have, a young African, so to speak, as a leader in any African country, except for, well, we have in France, where we have the youngest president who is 39 years old. So what is really holding us back?
Well, like I still say, we need more youth to actually channel their energy into politics and good governance.
All right, now let me quickly come to this matter of innovation. We have lots of young ones today, you know, creating lots of social media devices. I mean, social media apps. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have all manners of applications this day and age. If you have these things happening outside of Africa, you know, what else is left for, I mean, outside of Africa, yes, what else is left for African youth? What can we really tap into so that we can have something created by our own fellow African youth?
Thank you. The environment, I will first of all talk about the environment we find ourselves. The kind of environment we find ourselves is not an enabling environment. For youth to fulfill their potentials or to display their God-given potentials, they need an enabling environment. You can't compare African environment with what is happening in Europe or in America or in Asia country. You know, Asia country now, especially China, they are technological driven country. And when you see the people that are involved or that are driving this technology, they are youth. They are young men. In Africa, we have young men with potentials. But the environment we find ourselves is, you know, it doesn't allow them to really express it.
Well, we have someone who is trying to make something. For instance, now, we know that most countries in Africa, we have some challenges. We have power shortages, we have water shortages, we have different, you know, common things that really affect us as a people. And there's some young ones who have really taken the responsibility now to provide these things for their communities. Isn't that something commendable?
It's commendable. I must say that it's commendable. But it's not everybody that have the capacity or that have the resources to do that. Most communities, hardly will you find a youth that has empowered his or herself, or that somebody have empowered. For you to do some community services, for you to participate in community development, you need to empower yourself, or somebody empower you.
Empowering you in what sense now?
Yes, you have to empowering, I mean, job creation. You need to, either you are entrepreneurial and you are working, either you are working for somebody or you are working on your own. You are making profit. Because until you make a profit, before you can say, okay, out of the profit I'm making, let me contribute my own quota to the community. Or let me contribute my own quota to the immediate society. So a lot of things is wrong in our policy until we involve the youth, the young men, the vibrant one among us, until you involve us in the governance, until you involve us in policy making, so that we can contribute our own ideas. Because we are the ones to shape our future by ourselves, not the old ones. We are the one. When I was contesting, I told the elders in my local government, I said, the elderly ones should not contest with younger ones. I say they need to guide us. It's not contesting against us. So that's how it should be. This is our life. We need to shape our future by ourselves, not any elder one should shape our future. We are vibrant and we are good to go. Thank you.
Julius, do you share the same sentiment as well?
I think I will first of all observe you, which the president of the new sworn president of French, not quite long. We have some youthful president in Africa. When you make some of the research, we have Swaziland. The king of Swaziland is, I think, 42 or 43. The president of DR Congo is, I think his present age is 42. So who says African, we can't have a youth as a president? Let's come back home to Nigeria. But I think we need to restructure our constitution. We need to redraft. We need to sit down. The youth must be carried along in drafting, probably in amending the constitution. Look at the section 65 of our 1999 amended constitution. It stipulates the age of the president, the vice president at 40. A governor has 35, the Senate 35, the reps 30, the House of Assembly 30, the local government chairman 30 years, while the councillor is 25. I think we need to go back to that constitution, and I thank God for the bill in which just came through to a step in the National Assembly, not too young to run. I think if we could possess the percentage of more than 65% in population, I think we deserve. We deserve to be we deserve to be in governance. We deserve to be a president. We deserve to be in the system. Coming back to the question or to the observations of my colleagues there, who says when he contested for chairmanship, he was faced with some debacles, with some challenges. I think it is high time for us to join the system. If John Paul in what they call it in Kenya could
Kenyatta?
be, yes, no, I'm not saying Kenya.
Okay,
a member
of the House of
Parliament could be a member of a parliament at the age of 24. He took himself down the street by foot. He didn't use any buses or anybody to campaign. He campaigned rigorously by himself. So there is hope for African youth, and there is hope for Nigerian youth. I quite believe the future is bright, as rightly said by our former president, who says 2019 is very sure that the president of this country will be a youthful youth. And
this optimism that you have, is it really, you know, how will I put it? I don't mean to, you know, sound like it's not workable, it's not believable, but we have these things on ground. We have these people that have been there for all time. And do you think 2019 might just be, well, how will I put it? You know, the best thing that's ever happened for the youth, perhaps, in terms of, you know, coming in as the president of Nigeria?
It will be the best time, and it will be a revolution. Just watch out for a revolution. A revolution we are talking about it's not a revolution of violence or of handling gun or cutlasses or anything, but it's all about revolution, political revolution, whereby you see young men fighting for the different kind of positions. While you see them coming out and the youth has given them a formidable support. What we need that youth of Nigeria, we are very formidable, especially Africa, because the whole total we are 65%, almost 65% out of the entire population, and we can determine whatsoever thing that is coming in. We can determine what they are bringing on our table. We have the power to determine what it's all about. We have the power, and you can't undermine the power of youth. The power of youth, it cannot be undermined. It's very formidable. If youth can just come together as one formidable team, there is no way that they won't reckon with us. The reason why we are being thrown at the back door is because we are not as one. We are not as one. We are speaking different languages. Until we speak in one voice, as Nigerian youth or as African youth, you will see that great development will come into Africa. Because what I know about sustainable development is not about increase in terms of wealth. It's all about increase, at the same time, increase in terms of moral values. Our moral value system is not something to about. There's a lot of challenges in our value systems. We need to revive that. We need to reshape our future. Youth are in charge, and 2019, watch out for something great and wow.
Something great, I love that. Something great and wow. Well, Tayo, we need to wrap up here now. In a very brief sentence, what is the future for the youth?
Well, like Comrade Aremo has said, everybody needs to watch out for the youth in 2019. We have decided to take the bull by the horn. We need to show ourselves. We need to show our potentials. We need to show our innovations. And we need to take that chance. And we need to fight for it, because we have a whole lot in stock. Like I say personally, I control the youth of Lagos State. Well, and I encourage, them that you need to join me. I can't just do it alone. I mean, them Comrade Arima, they tried a lot. I mean, we have more people, we have plenty people there that are ready.
All right. I'm so sorry, I have to come in here because of time, but we'd like to thank you very much for your contributions on Africa Today. And as well, I'd like to thank my guests in the studio with me, Aremu Toyin, and as well, Julius Akingbade.
Yeah,
thanks a lot for your contributions on the program. Now, armed with potentials but deprived of opportunities, life for the average African youth still leaves much to be desired as issues of sustainability continues to hang on the balance. The turning point for Africa begins with a paradigm shift where youths aren't just seen as leaders of a distant future, but partners in progress to redeem the past. And that is our package for today. But don't forget to join the conversation as usual on Twitter at TVC News NG, and also follow me for updates around Africa at Esther TVC News. Until the next one, I am Esther Mokwariola, and always remember, change starts with you. Bye for now.